Ryan was once a rising star in the culinary world, but his talent had long been eclipsed by the shadow of crushing gambling debts. Desperate and hunted, he fled to a quiet corner of Latin America, hoping to vanish from the radar of those who wanted him dead. His only lifeline was Jack, an old friend from culinary school now living a luxurious life in Colombia. When Ryan arrived at Jack's modern, sunlit villa nestled in the hills, it felt like stepping into a different world, one untouched by debt collectors or regret. Jack welcomed him with open arms, the two quickly falling back into the rhythm of old times. Their reunion took a lively turn when they met Alice, a charming tourist with a curious appetite for adventure. To impress her, they staged a friendly cook-off in Jack's open-air kitchen, laughter and flames dancing into the night. Alice judged their dishes with delight and, after announcing Ryan as the winner, surprised everyone by spending the night in Jack's room. Ryan smiled and played it off, but his phone buzzed with messages from the syndicate reminding him of the price his mother would pay if he didn't settle his dues soon. The next evening, Jack opened up. The glossy surface of his perfect life hid a man unraveling from the weight of a secretive and demanding job. Ryan listened, unaware it would be the last conversation they'd ever have. The following morning, he found Jack hanging from a beam in the garden terrace. The sight froze him. Grief flickered in his eyes, but behind it, something else took root, an idea. With Jack gone, maybe Ryan could trade his ruined life for the clean slate Jack had left behind. Driven by fear and desperation, he dragged Jack's body to the nearby river and let the current erase the evidence. He returned, hands trembling, and opened Jack's laptop. A glimpse into Jack's bank account offered hope, enough money to pay off his debts and start anew. But the bank demanded in-person ID verification. So Ryan turned to the dark corners of the web, ordering a fake driver's license from a Chinese site, one that carried Jack's name but Ryan's face. As the forged ID was being processed, a sleek car pulled into the driveway. Out stepped Imogen, Jack's sharply dressed boss, her eyes full of expectation. She mistook Ryan for Jack without a second thought and put him to work preparing an exclusive dinner party. Ryan played along, masking his anxiety behind practiced professionalism. When she offered a generous advance, he used the cash to pay the syndicate and secure his mother's safety. But what started as a relief soon twisted into horror. He discovered the truth. Jack had been cooking for an elite underground circle, a grotesque network that served human flesh to the world's wealthiest guests. The money, the pressure, the secrecy, it all made sense now. And Ryan, trapped by his lie, had no way out. Maurice, the organization's brutal enforcer, arrived with the next ingredient, a young man named Jose, taken from a nearby village. Ryan watched in disbelief, his stomach turning, but he knew resistance would cost him his life. Unbeknownst to them, Jose had family. His uncle, Detective Ruiz, came sniffing around, desperate to find his missing nephew. One of the guests, oblivious to the danger, invited Ruiz to dinner. That night, in the glow of candlelight and false smiles, the detective unknowingly ate his own flesh and blood. The horror peaked when Alice returned. She had come looking for Jack but was stunned to find Ryan instead, wearing his friend's identity like a second skin. Her presence was an unwelcome complication. For the final dish of the night, Ryan was told to prepare tongue sashimi. But the tongue provided was diseased, herpes-infected, unfit to serve. In a dark corner of the house, a decision was made. Alice screamed, but no one heard her in time. Ryan stood frozen as they harvested her tongue. Guilt and fear clashed inside him, tearing at what little was left of his soul. He realized then that the only way to survive was to run, but escaping meant certain death. Desperate, he slipped a note to Ruiz during the dinner, begging for a meeting in the bathroom. There, under flickering lights and tense whispers, he confessed everything. But before help could come, Ruiz was killed. His flesh, like Alice's, was sealed and preserved, another delicacy for future dinners. To silence suspicion, Imogen sent a cold, fabricated email to Ruiz's sister, claiming Jose had eloped to Bogota. The next morning, Ryan's body became company property. Imogen had a tracking device implanted beneath his skin, a cruel reminder that he now belonged to them. She sent him to Africa for the next event, his soul quieter now, numbed by everything he'd done and everything he'd allowed. At the airport en route to London, he sat at the bar and introduced himself to a fellow traveler. "I'm Jack," he said, the words rolling off his tongue like they'd always been his. He didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. He was no longer running. He had become what they needed him to be.